Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome back to another week of the Whole Soul podcast. Before we dive into this episode, I'm just going to guide us through 3 big, deep breaths. You can do this while you are driving as well. If you are, just don't close your eyes, but it's so nice to just land and ground. So let's just deeply exhale all of the air out of your mouth. Inhale through your nose, filling up your belly and your chest. And exhale. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. One more time. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, biggest yet. Okay, we are landed, a little bit more grounded than you were probably before. I know I am. It's always nice to just stimulate the vagus nerve and come to earth, especially when we are dropping in for a podcast, which today I'm really excited to talk about this topic of why do authentic women trigger people? Because it's something that I've noticed. As I step deeper into my authentic path, I notice that it's triggering for people. Or some people just literally have a hard time being around me. And it's not maybe because I'm being loud, because I'm not usually a person that speaks a lot or talks a lot. I'm usually in my own vibe and I'm chilling. But sometimes there is a disresonance with that. And I wanted to talk about that. Why does that happen? Why is that a phenomena that as you step into your journey of growth in remembering who you are, because there's a lot of talk about becoming on the personal growth, personal development, spiritual growth journey. And I think it's a beautiful thing. You're becoming who you've always known you were meant to be, but there is this knowing that you are meant to become this version of yourself. But in actuality, you are just remembering your true nature. You're remembering who you are beneath all of the masks and walls and identities that you've built, either to protect yourself or because you felt you had to be a certain way because of your family or cultural pressures or societal influences. So as you step into your authenticity, you're actually remembering deeper who you are at your core. And that is a beautiful thing. But let's talk about why it's triggering for certain people. So you can think about it through the lens of your family or your friends or people who don't even know you. But I think it's more relatable if you talk about old friends or people in your life who don't necessarily resonate with you anymore, or people you've just grown apart from. When you are on this growth journey, you are coming to certain realizations. You feel this urge to release and let go of habits, of patterns, of ways of being, of certain belief systems that keep you in a specific mode or a specific box. And because you attract what you are, let's say you are in one chapter of your life. The people in that chapter of your life, they have a vibrational resonance, or their frequency is similar to yours, which is why those people are in your life. Or you have certain goals or visions, or there's certain ways of being that attract a certain type of group or people into your life. But as you start to step out of this box and you start to grow and you start to open yourself up, you start to release certain habits and ways of being and thought patterns, you are essentially outgrowing this box, and that can be intimidating for people that you've known that are still in that box, that are afraid to grow, because you are essentially reflecting to them that there is this possibility of growth, of expansion, this exploration of creativity that they maybe aren't ready to step into, or they fear to step into that journey of growth because they're so comfortable where they are. And that could be confronting for those people. And it's triggering because they don't necessarily want to step into that authentic path at this current moment in time. And you show them that it is also available for them to do that. So it's a whole thing. I'm actually reading The Artist's Way right now. We're going through it in my community, the Whole Soul Collective. And it's been really cool to see that as you step into your creative exploration or your creative recovery, there will be people that project their fears and their limiting beliefs onto you. And when you're in this growth phase, which we're always growing and expanding, but we are more vulnerable to judgments, to opinions from people all around us because we're already in this vulnerable space of really redefining who we are or remembering who we are and stepping into this new path. So I like to think of it as almost being a baby deer on this path that you're stepping into and you're gaining strength. So it's important to surround yourself with people and environments and things that are supportive of this version of yourself that you are remembering or stepping into. So this is a really common thing that I see also in women, is that if you have a presence, like a big field of energy, if you just hold a big aura, and this doesn't mean talking a lot or being loud, it just means you are very rooted in who you are. That is a form of authenticity, is just being so grounded and at peace with who you are that you just emanate this light and this radiance. That can be triggering for people that are insecure, especially woman to woman, because this podcast is centered around women and it's for women. If you're a man listening to this, that is okay too. There's so much to learn and so many mirroring things that you can learn as a man from a woman. But truly, woman to woman, it's very common. It's a big sisterhood wound to feel intimidated by another woman who seemingly has something that you feel that you don't, which is kind of an illusion, because if you see something that you admire in a woman, another woman, it means that you have the capability to tap into that within your own self, because we're all just mirrors for one another. And if you see something you don't like in someone else, it's maybe because you see that or some form of that within yourself, or you still judge something within yourself that you are working on accepting, or that is actually the illumination. You are being shown a trigger within yourself to look at that and heal that and come to terms with it and love it. But something that I actually experienced at yoga teacher training and high school, and just certain moments in time where there are groups of women, is just this energy. It's not seen, but it's felt, where there is a layer of jealousy, or there's this unspoken competition, or it's hard for women to celebrate one another. I think that deeply comes from a place of insecurity, of not fully loving or accepting oneself. Because let's say, hypothetically, you're in a room of women that are also grounded and rooted in themselves and have been on a big self-love journey, have accepted deep wounds and shadows, and just have done the work to transmute and alchemize those things. You won't really find that there is judgment or competition, because the women that are rooted and grounded in themselves, that are authentic and true to themselves, know that there is no competition for embodiment. That one woman being in her light and her power isn't taking away from the light of another. So when you bring a group of empowered, grounded women together, there will be a resonance of celebration, of seeing one another for who they are, without competition, without jealousy, without judgment. And that is a powerful thing. And that is a world that I see and a world that I am creating with the Whole Soul Collective, with my retreats. It's something that I am supporting women and building within themselves to trust themselves, their intuition, to build that muscle of self-trust and confidence and self-love. Because we won't be able to see a change in the world if we don't start within ourselves. Everyone talks about changing the world and making these big leaps and bounds and having all these big plans for how we're going to do it. But it starts on a micro scale. If you have a war within yourself, how do you expect the world to cease war? It's by creating unity, having a union within yourself that creates peace within yourself, that then allows you to emanate peace to everyone around you. And I know it's a concept, it's easier said than done, but that's the work, right? When you have a triggering situation, when there's a challenge that comes up, it's an opportunity for you to see whatever shadow or darkness is rising up within you, to shift that and transmute it into light, into healing, into peace, and taking that as an opportunity to grow. So as you step deeper into your authentic truth and your authentic nature, expect that it is going to trigger people. Don't seek that people are going to get triggered because you are looking for something, but have the awareness that it's okay that people aren't going to resonate with you. Not everybody is meant to like you or love you, and that is okay. Because whether you seek to please people to be liked, people still won't like you. So it's so much better to just stay true to yourself and choose to live an authentic life, because your people will find you. And everyone talks about finding their tribe, finding their community, finding their best friends, their sisters. How do you expect to do that if you are not being true or authentic to yourself? How do you expect to do that if you are wearing masks of inauthenticity to people please or to be liked? Or you're wearing a mask that doesn't even feel like you because you feel like you have to be a certain way to be loved and accepted. That is not the way. It's so much so about vulnerability and humility, and that is so challenging for so many people. It's so challenging to wear your heart on your sleeve, to be raw and true. But the people that are meant to find you, the people who appreciate rawness and authenticity and vulnerability, those people will show up in your field. Because again, like attracts like. The law of reciprocity, what you put out into the world is what will come back to you. And you just have to have trust and faith in that. And it's not just some woo-woo subject out there. It's literally based on mathematics and science and quantum physics. So trust in your authentic truth, in your heart, that it's guiding you to where you're supposed to go. And I know a lot of people say, don't follow your heart because that is an emotional thing, but your heart is your intuition, is a part of your intuition. It's part of your divinity, and you feel either drawn or averted towards certain things, and that is your intuition guiding you and speaking to you. So the more you can begin to listen to that and trust that and exercise that muscle of noticing what brings your curiosity versus what you are diverted to or averted to, that is going to strengthen your intuitive muscle. So know that your authenticity is your gift. It is your gift to this world, and the more that you can lean into it, the more you will feel liberated within yourself. The more authentic you will feel, the more free you will feel, the more love you will have the capacity to carry in your body and your heart, to share, not only with yourself, to heal your inner child, to heal all versions of yourself, but to also share that healing with the world and be the permission slip for other women to step into their authentic truth and freedom. Because external liberation in the world begins by our internal liberation. And that is the greatest act of rebellion we can do in this world. So know The reason why authentic women trigger people, it's not to do anything with you. It has nothing to do with you. You are just showing people what is possible for them to step into that they are too afraid to step into, or they're not ready to look at whatever parts within themselves that would allow them to get there. Your authenticity is a permission slip, and some people are not ready to receive that, and that's okay. But the people that are, they will understand you, they will see you, and you will inspire them and bring such a beautiful and positive change to this world. So trust that you're on the right path, you're doing fucking awesome, and know that your authenticity is your medicine. Always, 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 through and through. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me today. Please make sure to follow and rate this podcast on Spotify. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment your thoughts. What came up for you? I'm always so curious to hear. And I will see you next week. Sending you so much love.